Good early morning everyone, and welcome back to the 300 bird challenge. You know the drill by now. We're trying to see 300 different bird species before the end of 2024. There's a graphic in the corner. We want to fill that graphic with every bird we see. It gets a bit closer. We really want to fill that circle. In today's video we are going to Amherst Island to try and see some special birds. We also have a special guest with us, Nancy. Hi Nancy. In the meantime, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Amherst Island, some of the birds we would like to see over there. I also have a message to my subscribers, all that coming up in a moment. Back after this. Before we start this video, we both just wanted to give everyone a really big thank you for all of your support lately. You may have noticed we've recently surpassed 1,000 subscribers. We really appreciate all the support. Don't have time to name everyone, but if you've ever heard me say thank you, we appreciate that. You know it includes you. Anyone that's ever shared our videos, anyone that's ever liked, commented, or passed the videos on to anyone else, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and there'll be more to come. Let's get on with Amherst Island. Okay everyone, welcome back. We're on our way to Amherst Island, as I say. Amherst Island is one of many islands in the region where the St. Lawrence River empties into Lake Ontario, and it forms part of the so-called Thousand Islands. It's only about 70 square kilometres in size, or 27 square miles, and it consists mostly of farmland and a few houses, 2 or 3 shops and a couple of churches, half a dozen roads which range in quality from paved to gravel to dirt road, and there's a resident population of only about 450 people, which increases during the summer months. Amherst Island was renamed from its prior French and native names by the British, sorry about that, in 1792 after Geoffrey Amherst, Commander-in-Chief of the North American British Forces. To get to the island you take a ferry from Millhaven, which is near Kingston, and it departs every 30 minutes. The crossing takes about 20 minutes and it costs just $10 for a car, including the return trip, or it's free for pedestrians, but I wouldn't count on getting an Uber once you get onto the island. The ferry lands in the main island settlement of Stella. Okay guys, we're on the island now. We're going to drive through some of these dirt roads. There's fence posts, trees, open farmers' fields. They're all good habitats for some of the different birds that we want to see. We're kind of hoping for a snowy owl. We haven't seen one this year. We did last year, quite early in the year. It's been a very mild winter, putting that down probably to being in an El Nino kind of end of the cycle. However, there have been some sightings on Amherst Island. It's quite a warm day, so there's not much snow around, that kind of thing, but maybe we'll be lucky. For the time being, we're going to see if we can add anything to our year list to see any new birds, so stick with us as we drive around. Other bird species you can expect to find as you drive around Amherst Island during the winter are hawk species, turkey vultures, falcon species like kestrels, and hopefully some owl species. Our targets for this trip, beside the snowy owl, were rough-legged hawks, that would be a lifer for us, and please, a short-eared owl, that would be a lifer that we've struggled to find for a long time. We saw our first raptor, a northern harrier, quite quickly. And then another. And 2 more. Next up, we spotted a very distant hawk. Amherst Island is frequented by both red-tailed hawks and rough-legged hawks at this time of year, and at this kind of distance it can be hard to tell those two apart. We really want to see a rough-legged hawk, but the dark pattern on the front of this bird, the so-called belly band, makes it a red-tailed hawk. We hit a bit of a quiet patch, aside from the harriers we kept seeing, and a few starlings that were hanging around buildings and on fence wires. But then, a mystery hawk. We talked about this one for a while, another distant view, and I'd never seen, dare I say it, a rough-legged hawk before. But that's what this is, a new bird, and it's a lifer. Check out how dark the plumage is low down towards the bottom portion of the bird. Too dark and not streaky enough for it to be a red tail. We found our rough-legged. Be nice to see one closer up though. Well guys, we've done a little bit of driving around. We have seen more harriers than you can shake a stick at. I think we've seen about 7 northern harriers so far. But we did see also a new lafer, rough-legged hawk. We spent a long time deliberating over that. Nancy was fairly sure she's seen one before. But we've never seen one before, and I can be quite conservative about calling things until I'm pretty sure. But yeah, very distant, which is why it caused us a bit of kind of deliberation. But rough-legged hawk, we've seen a new bird for the year. We'll see if we can find anything else today, but I'm pretty happy with that. Let's keep going. We drove on, seeing yet more harriers and red-tailed hawks like this one. And this one. As we continued our tour of the island, we were beginning to feel a little bit hawked and harriered out at this point. We thought we were about to get a close encounter with a rough-legged hawk when we saw this beast, but I think it's actually just a red-tail. We're still easily caught by these two species. It dove down and made an attempt at catching some prey, but we think it failed. Beautiful bird. I know we haven't seen a short-eared owl yet, but there's no need for such a long face. Okay guys, we've pulled over onto the side of the road for a moment. There's a quite long trail, maybe a kilometre or 2, that travels through these fields here, and it leads to a place called Owl Woods. Let's see if we can find ourselves some owls. We plodded along the very, very muddy path until we reached the entrance to the Owl Woods. It was a little quiet to begin with, but we did see some signs of activity, and we continued to explore. Okay, so we've reached the Owl Woods now. Just taking a look through these trees, we're seeing signs of pileated woodpecker again. If you watched my last disastrous video, you'll know that we had a bust on pileated woodpeckers, despite seeing signs of them in multiple places. Maybe we'll have some luck today. I'll take anything at this point that's a little bit special. Owl, pileated woodpecker, something like that. So our attention was drawn to a raccoon up in the tree just behind me here, but on the ground down here we see some owl pellets that's been kind of broken apart a little bit, so that's one of the signs to look for.
Ooh, nice bones in there. That's I would say a shrew.
Sarah's biology degree in full effect there. So we've just noticed that there's some feathers in a circle here. It's another sign of owl activity. An unfortunate blue jay, Sara believes, has just been killed recently in this area. Nice meal. It's mostly down feathers, but there are a few outer feathers left too, which is why Sara thinks it's probably a blue jay. We scoured the trees close to the patch of feathers for a few moments, hoping we might catch sight of some species of owl. So we have a barred owl up in the tree here. Just having a bit of a kip. Well, after all that excitement, we returned to a rest area to recover and watch some more common birds. We saw a downy woodpecker, as well as plenty of black-capped chickadees, white-breasted nuthatches, and a red-bellied woodpecker. What have you found now, Sara?
A knot on bone. Why are you laughing at me?
Just because you're coolly walking around with a bone in your hand. And just before the camera started rolling, you told us that don't worry about it, there's a vertebrae in the tree as well.
There is. There's at least 3 ribs. The pelvis is over there. And some more vertebrae and leg bones.
Deer?
Yeah, I'd say deer.
Oh dear. On that bombshell of a dad joke, we decided to trek back out of the Owl Woods, On the way out, we spotted not a nemesis bird as such, but a nemesis birder. I'm joking, he's not really a nemesis birder. Or is he? Okay guys, we were just leaving the Alwoods and I've run into Jamie here. He's someone that I've been talking to online quite a few times and it's the first time we've bumped into each other. So hi Jamie.
Hi, it's actually great to finally meet you. A lot of my friends have been watching your videos over the last year and a half. And
I appreciate that,
it's a great inspiration and it's just good to see where the birds are.
We just broke 1,000 subscribers, so I appreciate support from everyone. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to meet you. Congratulations.
Good luck with that barred owl that's hiding out in there.
Thank you.
See you soon. We got back to the car and it was time for a quick meal break. So we'll take a break in this video too. Back after this. Well, we just got back from the Alwoods. Did you like that, Nancy?
It was interesting, yeah. I saw a lifer.
Barred owls, a lifer?
Yes, yes.
Oh, nice. So we've just got back. We've had a little bit of something to eat, sandwich and stuff. Nancy also made these
custard macaroons.
I've already had one, so I'd be lying if I pretended to have one for the first time, but it is very good, so I'm going to eat one there.
Okay. I also brought dark chocolate bitey cookies.
This is a couple of my favourite flavours, custard and coconut. Thank you.
No problem.
We've driven around once, we're going to drive around again, see if we can pick up any more birds, so stay tuned for that. We spent another hour or so circling the island, but before we got to the car, Jamie, the nemesis birder, had played a prank on us. Okay, so when we were leaving the Alwoods earlier, Jamie played a bit of a practical joke on me, so I'm going to get him back on my car here. He's just written "Hi Stu" in the dirt after I've just had my car cleaned. As we looked for more birds, we pulled over to the side of the road when we saw something in the water. Turns out it was just a red-breasted merganser, but across the road I saw Jamie's vehicle parked there. So his car, I've just noticed, is parked a little way down here. And I know it's a little bit pretentious, but I have these business cards here that I had done. It's my last one actually. I'm going to go and place it on his car. There you go, Jamie. Present for you. Alright, enough mucking about. Let's get back to the birds. The sun was beginning to fall in the sky and we still wanted to find a few more species. A couple of birds did fly overhead, a raven and this bald eagle. It appeared to be carrying debris in its talons, perhaps it had recently caught something, or perhaps this is some nest building material. We ended up driving around the island along a number of different roads, still hoping for that snowy owl, or a short-eared owl, or anything else new, while we discussed what time we wanted to catch the ferry back to the mainland before losing the sunlight. We persevered, just seeing more birds we'd already seen today, but we did get nice closer views of a harrier. At one point, while we were out of the car, we suddenly heard a pileated woodpecker call. Now this isn't a great shot as it flew away, but you can tell from the flight pattern and the white wing flashes that it is a pileated woodpecker. We're counting this bird, but we will continue to look for a better shot of it, hopefully in the near future. We're still hoping for a short-eared owl. That hasn't happened yet, but it's kind of 4:15-ish in the afternoon, so a good time to start looking for those. We're going to do one more look around the island before we have to leave for the day, so let's take a look. We were entering the short window of time during dusk where short-eared owls were more likely, but only if we could find a good spot. So I decided to pull over and do some research and look where other people had seen short-eared owls, using websites like eBird, photographs showing anything recognisable in the background, other wildlife submissions on websites that showed GPS coordinates. And I noticed that a lot of sightings were grouped in a couple of locations on the island. The sun was now getting low in the sky. We really didn't want to miss the 6 PM ferry because then we'd be stuck on the island in the dark, so I picked a spot and we hightailed it to the location. We approached the position and saw other vehicles parked in the vicinity. There are some more birders further down the street, as I mentioned. Nancy just went and spoke to some people, and Nancy, what did you hear?
They said that this is the prime spot for short-eared owls, and that has been reported. There's a bunch of people, as Stu has said, and for some strange reason, they're not here today. They've been here, the short-eared owls, for plentiful for the past week, but for some strange reason today, none.
So when we drove past this area, we noticed that it was good kind of prime environment for them, and we saw the people parked on the side of the road. And as we were kind of coming up this way, we'd already looked at a map of previous sightings, and they kind of did cluster around this area, so that's why we're kind of hopeful. So we're going to stake it out for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and we'll see how it goes.
Until the sun goes down.
Yeah, the sun is on its way down now. We camped out in our chosen spot, with the light disappearing fast behind us. We kept checking the fields and fence posts for signs of any activity, knowing that the ferry was leaving in a little over 30 minutes from now. While we continued to wait as the sun goes down, I am going to tell you about one bird that we saw right at the beginning of the day that I haven't included in this video yet. House finch. We saw a house finch in the top of a tree outside of our hotel this morning. Pretty common bird, but one that we haven't seen yet, and it's another one to add to our list. It was beginning to get difficult to film, with the last of the light disappearing behind the horizon, and then guess who shows up? The nemesis birder, Jamie. His friend asked if we had insider information on the spot we were waiting in. Well, we waited, talking together, and then, in the last vestiges of the remaining light, out of nowhere, around 17 short-eared owls began hunting in a field adjacent to where we had parked. Another amazing bird for the day. We've been trying to see one of these birds for such a long time. It's a lifer. Unbelievable, there's about 20 short-eared owls all flying around in this field here. I do wish the footage was a little better, but there was hardly any light left. Camera geek talk, my ISO was pushing 20,000, manual focus was tough, automatic focus was almost useless. But here they are, short-eared owls. I'm just so glad we got to see them. We watched for about 20 minutes, then we had to beat it to get to the 6 PM ferry. Excuse the grainy footage in the next shot due to the dark. Okay guys, it's getting pretty dark, as you can see. We had to make a bit of a mad rush for the ferry there. We had about 15 minutes to make it. We were caught in the rapture of those short-eared owls, so that was pretty awesome. New lifer. Rough-legged hawk, also a lifer. So we've had a pretty good day here at Amherst Island, but it is time to go now. Unfortunately, no snowy owl, and that probably means, unless they arrive early at the end of this year, we may not get snowy owl this year now. We got it last year. This year it's been so mild, and we've heard that they also had a pretty bad winter in terms of food supply, kind of up in the Arctic area. Anyway, I think that does us for this video. Thanks for your support, thank you for watching, happy birding, and we will see you soon. If you could please do all of the nice things, click that like button to help other people find the channel, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. And please, if you're not subscribed, if you could please hit that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. We'll see you next week.